This is a leek flower head. These here are little green um, grassy bits. These are known in the north as grass and in the south as pips, and they're miniature leeks, bulbils, bulblets. Can't remember which one they are. But if you want more of those, what you do is you cut all the flowers off, and it should all come back as grass pips. That's what I'm going to do. So just give it a shave. This is the final product, and giving it a haircut, and that long green stem, you'll get that all over the top of this. And then later, in a couple of weeks' time, we'll take it off the top of this stalk, cut it in half and plant it in pots. And then they'll take root, and then we'll have sort of 40 or 50 leeks to plant later in the year, probably August sometime. And they'll get to a medium size before next year, when they'll go to flower. Or you can keep them in a pot in the shade until next spring and then plant them. But if they get too big in the pot, they'll bolt next spring anyway. But anyway, that's how the show growers take clones of leeks, and I use it because I find it easier than keeping seed. These are shallots. They're growing on the permaculture beds, so they didn't have any compost or manure or fertiliser at all this year or last year. And I think it was potatoes on here the year before that. So what we had on here, it was green manure bed, about 20 months. So I'm going to be digging up this bed. So I think it's I mean, they're big. They're quite big. I think it's time to dig them up. I'll put my hand next to them. They're a nice size. They're not the only ones. So even the varieties, these are Golden Gourmet, and these varieties are sort of like French torpedoes. I can't remember what the exact name were. So they're a smaller variety, but still they've done really well. Some haven't. These ones haven't really done very well, and God knows why. Those ones didn't do very well either. As you can see, we're weed infested, and it's time. See, they're nice big shallots. I probably won't eat these ones because they're nice and big. I probably won't eat these ones. I'll probably store them for next year as seed, because they produce really well. There's my little harvest. I'm pretty happy with those shallots. Yeah, and a few beans, a few broad beans. show you. Not cold? Is it you that's treading all over my green manure? Bit of clover there just appeared out of the ground. That's handy. That'll save me one seed. So I want clover here, I want a green manure here, so that's good. What I'm doing is, to me that's not a weed, I'm digging to remove perennial weeds. So not bothered by anything else really. Beautiful early July day. Come up to the allotment to sow some more green manures, dig in some green manures because I'm going to be planting me winter broccoli, and yeah, it's a beautiful day, so I'm looking forward to this. I shall show you as I get on. The green manure's come up, and this patch is I sowed this about 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of clover come up, and some weeds, but I'm finding it hard to keep it moist. This is the Phacelia, borage and vetch and so on. It's a green manure. This was sowed in sort of early spring. It's done, as you can see, there's a bumblebee. We should be able to see bumblebees. They love it. Don't look at the mare's tail, but I should have done the rest of the bed ages ago, well, about the same time. So I've let myself down a bit, but that should be covered in green manure, building in nitrogen for next year, for having a crop next year. But anyway, we're still going to get 2/3 of the summer and the autumn to grow on, and next spring, so it's not too late. This has had clover for probably about 24 months, I should think now. This bed, I'm going to put 4 winter broccoli or spring broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli in here. I've got them in pots, so I need to dig this in. I know I've got 2 options. I've got either coat it off or dig it in, but I think digging in works better. I think it's less ecological, but I think it's a wiser move. Because the broccoli is sown in 1.2 metre wide, that's 4 feet wide rows. I'm going to leave an alleyway of clover. It's well established in the middle of it. So basically it's 60 centimetres, 2 feet between plants, and 4 feet between the rows. So sort of 2 feet in, I'm going to have a little strip of clover. I have to cut all of this back. I'll show you how I do it in a sec. But and then dig in everything except for the middle bit with the clover. And I'll let the clover grow on over. Keep providing nitrogen. If it looks like it's getting in the way of the broccoli growing, I'll dig it out. I'll cut it right back. It's got to be cut down with shears before we dig it in, because it's hard to dig in if you don't. You'll have bits poking out all over the shop. We'll place out 1 foot for the plant, and then 3, 4. So we're about here. So what I want to do is find out where my some intercropping. We've got a little alleyway of clover. So I need to cut out about 1 foot, maybe 1.5 feet clover of the green manure. Oh, it's quite hard actually. Oh no, it's nice underneath. I'll dig up and we'll have a look at the soil underneath after nearly, 2 years of green manure. I don't know whether you can see the soil, but as you can see it's quite crumbly. Got some full of roots, but there's some good roots, i.e. grass and clover, but we do have some couch grass. That there is couch grass. I don't know whether hope it's focusing. And yeah, that spreads. It's a perennial grass, and it spreads like wildfire. But you can compost it, and I'm going to compost that. That's couch grass as well. That is bindweed. You get good at this, or white root, and I'll chuck that over there for the sun to kill it. If I'm going to be weeding perennial roots out of here, I'm going to pull all this good stuff, all this good clover to one side and dig it in once I've weeded it, because you don't want this to end up in the compost heap. Well, no, it'd be good in the compost heap, but the whole point of it is to get the goodness into the ground. So I'll pull out to one side. Now that's got nodules in it, so that's got to be, I don't recognise, it's got long tap roots, so I think but it's definitely got nodules on it, so I'm going to put that in there. That's couch grass, put that there. I've done half of it now. I'm going to leave a strip in the middle about 1 foot wide, and then dig over that other lot over there. these docks up. Most of it anyway. That's dock. You'll see the great big dock leaves on it. You want to get that out really, but the really long tap root will be picking up nutrients from deep in the soil. So yeah, it provides as well as a noise. It's a beautiful soil, as you'd expect from 2 years under clover. I've dug it in. There's a lot of organic matter in there, so it's quite difficult. But anyway, I'm going to split these up, get these in the ground. So we want these about two feet apart. So that's 1, 2, about where that spade is. Oh. Brassicas, you want to bury them quite deeply. These are this variety is claret. It's purple sprouting. Broccoli. You'll get your broccolis in March, April, and they're nice colour and taste. There's been quite a bit of rain, so I'm using organic pellets. Not too many of them, but I am infested down here. Well, there you have it, my new bed. The full purple sprouting broccoli with a clover strip between them. I'll keep that clover strip trimmed. It'll regrow very rapidly. It'll regrow, and that'll build up fertility for next year. There's plenty more for me to be doing. I'm shattered. So let me show you what I've been up to. I've been mostly maintenance. It's too boring for me to show you. You know, I'm going to go back and have my lunch. Anyway, so we've got mowing the green manure. There's a lot of organic matter there. There's also a load of bindweed in there that'll hold it back. The S&Ps. I've done a lot of watering. It's taken about half an hour of quite heavy, well, heavy, I say heavy, but you know, reasonable amount of labour to do that. In the sun, it's quite hot. So a lot of watering. So the peas are enjoying that. I can crop those in a minute. A couple of those. Those are golden sweet. They're really nice in a sauce. So we've got these leeks are doing well. I'm doing Charles Dowding's method of planting 3 to each station, and then he picks the biggest to eat and lets the other 2 grow on, and does it that way. What I'm going to do is pick the smallest and let the biggest grow on. So I'm going to basically be thinning. So that's what I should be doing soon. As you can see, it's only the 2nd of July, and look how big they are already. So they're enjoying this clover lay and mulching. This is the This is the green manure I've just dug in with the 4. Looks a bit scrappy in the moment, but that clover will regrow nicely. It will look nice. All this clover in here that's been dug in will rot down and feed the broccoli. Some nice apples on there. Again, Luke's doing well in the what was last year a clover lay. My beans are up and they're starting to climb. There's a few gaps. I've just put some more seed in. Had some borlottis and some giant Greek runner beans left, so I bunged them in. And as you can, it's starting to thin out a bit as I start eating stuff. There was shallots in here. I've eaten those. Well, actually, I'm saving half of them for seed. The big ones I'm saving. The small ones I'm eating for next year. That is seed for next year. These aren't so big, but I planted them later, and they're greener than the other ones. So I'm wondering whether or not it's better to plant them later. That's a recipe for disaster. There's some onions. That's quite scrappy as well. I planted them too near to the potatoes, but you know, there's 1 or 2 of them are decent size. These potatoes here I'm going to dig up. I've had enough of looking at them. I'll probably put some beetroot or something in there. This was the bad garlic, the rusted up garlic. That's dug up. I've got a green manure. That's starting to appear. I've cropped the beans. I should be digging that in. I'll be digging the stalks in as well. I don't know what I'm going to put there instead for going on. These are what are called skirrets. These are an old English root vegetable. It's perennial. You keep dividing it and keep eating it. It's actually really tasty. It's nicer than a parsnip. It's nicer than a carrot, and it's nearly nicer than a potato. In fact, you know, potato, you get more bulk with potato, but they're lovely fried with a bit of salt. It's really nice. These are Welsh onions. There's some nice seed on there I should be collecting. I should do that tomorrow. That'll be something to video tomorrow. But there's a lot of weeds around here, so in all the it's sort of neglected, this part. You can tell which parts I've concentrated on had loads of attention. So these here had loads of attention. Look at the size of those shallot bulbs. And this didn't have much attention. It's covered in weeds and everything's dying back. So just goes to show the greatest manure is the gardener's shadow, as they say. So here we've got the green manure lay. I think that's about 2 weeks. I'm having to water it daily. It's very dry very quickly. These squashes starting to race off now. That's Manure di Chioggia, which is supposed to be one of the sweetest. James Wong says it's one of the sweetest going, so that's we're going to test that theory. Here's the my leek seed head. I've been growing. I cut this back to grow what are called grass or pips, which are basically asexual propagation of the leek. I shall give you updates as it comes along. New leeks. These are Sapo mirrors. Look how healthy and fresh they are. Compare them to these potatoes. I can't remember what they are, but clearly they're not as healthy. Healthy, not healthy. Here's some leeks. These are doing very well here. Again, it's the 2nd of July, and look how big those are. Again, they're planted in clumps of 3. Ignore the weeds. Again, this is an early potato. I don't think it's going to last that much longer, but there's definitely spuds under there. This has been dug over and yeah, and a green manure sown. This is to build up fertility. So it's kept fallow with a green manure, nitrogen fixing green manure. I might put some other things like over there. You see that green manure over there? That's Phacelia. That doesn't fix nitrogen, but it's good. It's good bulk builder. It stores lots of nutrients, and the bees love it. So I might put some of that in, something similar to that, maybe ryegrass, something like that, to add bulk. Here's some more beans. They're getting a bit patchy. They had with that rain we had. There's had slug and snail attack. So I've bunged some extra seed in today. It should take off quite quickly. But as you can see, it's starting to climb. They're starting to climb, and we got a couple of squashes and tomatoes. So anyway, that's my plot. 2nd of July. See you all later.